Our last woodwind instrument of the day is probably the least familiar to anybody here. This is the bassoon, and it is the largest one. So what do you think? Is it going to be squeaky high or low? Low, very low. Can we hear a couple notes?
Sure.
This is Nathan, by the way. I would have to say, just for the flute obviously is my favorite, but I like the bassoon next. The bassoon is great. Now, if you can look at the size of the bassoon, it actually has a turn at the bottom. You can see it's what, maybe 5 feet tall? And the air goes in where he blows, all the way down to the bottom, and there's a U-tube just like under your sink, and the air turns around, and then it goes all the way out the top. So that makes it by far the hugest instrument we've got on here. Now, if you look at his reed, it looks the most like the oboe reed, and it's a double reed. It's 2 little pieces of cane tied together. Can you crow your reed? Can you crow your reed too? So the reed crows a little, we call it crowing the reed. It crows a little bit lower too because the reed is bigger than the oboe reed. So Nathan, how long does it take you to make a reed?
A few hours. Yeah.
A few hours, but you spend a fair amount of time doing that, don't you?
Sure, and there's a lot of waiting in between stages, like George was talking about. So it's a labor-intensive process.
Generally lasts a little bit longer, I think, than the oboe.
Mine lasts longer, so I get to make fewer.
So, which is nice. He doesn't have to work quite as hard as his reeds as the oboe players do. So can you give us an idea of the range on the bassoon? How low can you go? So pretty low, not too high, but I think it probably overlaps with the bass clarinet. True? Yes. So we have sort of 2 bass instruments. The clarinet, which sort of bridges the gap and sort of does everything, and then oboe and flute, which are the higher ones. Now, can you do some staccato, the short notes, and some legato? So I think the bassoon has the most unusual sound in the woodwinds. It's a very woody sound. It's also, I shouldn't say this, you'll get mad at me, but it's also known as the clown of the orchestra because it can do very funny things, very funny little odd, jokey kinds of things. And it does look a bit comical, don't you think? You want to play a little piece for us, Nathan?
Sure, I'll play the grandfather.
Oh, we're doing a little more Peter and the Wolf, the grandfather. So if you remember, if you have any experience with Peter and the Wolf, the grandfather, when that music is symbolizing the grandfather is very mad at Peter and says, "Why did you leave the garden gate open? The wolf could have gotten in. What would happen then?" So that is the point that the bassoon is making. You're in trouble now, young man. I think that is everybody. Let's just we'll just review for a second. There's my flute standing over there all by itself. Then we have the oboe with the double reed, the clarinet with a single reed, bass clarinet with another also single reed, bigger, and the bassoon with another double reed. So that is the woodwind family. There are a few other members that we didn't bring today, saxophone being the most common one, but you don't generally see saxophones in the orchestra, so we didn't bring them today. I think we're all set then.
Thank you, Susan. How about a nice hand? What a fabulous job. Thank you very much.